told you that every single dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of world that you want to live in. The businesses you support, the industries that you fund, and the choices that you make with your money shape the world around us. I never actually thought about it that way. I was making purchases on Amazon because it was cheap and convenient. I was adding extra things into my Target cart because why not? But my money isn't just disappearing when I spend it, it's going somewhere. I'm Maria, your favorite slow living and from scratch content creator. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's talk about how my vote with my dollar challenge has completely changed my relationship with money. I want to talk about the changes that I've made, the challenges that I faced, and ways that you can be more intentional about your spending. So this is my vote with my dollar challenge. I've been doing it officially since January 20th and unofficially since about mid-November, based on the results of the presidential election. I was completely frustrated and unsure about what I could do to make the situation better. So I decided that every single purchase for the next 4 years was going to be intentional. And it was going to go to supporting businesses that I believe in and my values align with. Voting with your dollar is the idea that every single purchase that you make supports a business, an industry, or a cause, whether or not you even realize it. Every time you buy something, you're essentially saying, I support this. I want more of this in the world. That could be anything from supporting local farmers to choosing to buying secondhand and buying from sustainable brands, or not buying at all. It is so easy to feel so powerless in a world dominated by big corporations, but companies follow the money. When people start choosing ethical, community-driven, and sustainable options, businesses will take notice. Once I started seeing my money as a tool for change, I kind of started to question everything. I became more mindful of where my money was going. I started looking into businesses to see what causes they support, who they donated to the last election. I started doing research on CEOs, and I started to ask myself, do these companies align with me? Where are things manufactured? Are they manufactured with fair and ethical labor practices? Are they made with sustainable materials? And what's the intended end stage of the life cycle of the products that I was buying? If companies have no take-back programs, recycling programs, trade-ins, anything like that, and I just have to put their product in the landfill when I'm done with it, it makes me rethink it. I've also started to prioritize quality over quantity, and you've heard me say this probably several times. I used to buy cheap stuff all the time, thinking, well, if I don't like it, then at least I didn't spend a lot of money on it. Then I realized that I am really aiming for the minimalist luxury vibe in my life. That's what I want my life to look like. I don't want a super cluttered home with a bunch of junk or things that are just there to fill space. Our homes are not storage units. And I really wish someone had told me that sooner. I want to buy nice, or I'm gonna buy twice. I want a normal amount of high quality items, a highly curated collection, if you will, of items that are gonna last my lifetime, or close to it. I also stopped buying dupes because they don't work, they don't last, and you end up spending way more in the long run. Now I invest in well-made, ethically sourced items that will really last a lifetime and that feel a lot better to own. I have also learned to say no, which for the first time in my life, I haven't run out to purchase everything on my wish list the second that I decided I wanted them or needed them, which is a big change for me. And what's most surprising is that it only took a couple weeks for me to rewire my brain to be that way. I had to get off the consume mindset. I had to get off that train because if I don't now, I never will. Now I put something on a wish list in my phone, I reevaluate, usually within a couple weeks, I'll decide, do I actually want this item? And it'll stay on the wish list, or I'll realize I don't really want or need this item and it gets taken off. And I actually started using my items. It sounds silly, but I have had a back stock of personal care items for the last couple years and enough of a back stock that will last probably 5 years. So I've been inspired to start Project Pan as kind of a side quest and actually start using my back stock of products. I did a whole video on it last week. If you want to check it out, I'll leave it up here for you. And thank you so much for all the love and support on that video. It really means a lot to me as I'm working to build back up my YouTube channel and become more consistent. And lastly, I started shopping small businesses, sustainable businesses, and local businesses almost exclusively. Shopping local means the money stays in the community and supports the community. Shopping sustainable small businesses means my purchases support real people rather than massive corporations and millionaire CEOs. For me, the benefits of this challenge have really outweighed the challenges significantly. I don't feel like I'm mindlessly consuming anymore, and I do feel like I'm actually purchasing things that I will love and use for the rest of my life. I am paying way more attention as to where my money goes and whether or not it aligns with my values. And I have also saved thousands of dollars since November. I was able to pay off $10,000 of my student loans more this month and contributed almost $7,000 to my 2024 Roth IRA to max it out. I never would have been able to do that in 4 months. Never, if I was still consuming the way that I was. I do think that it's important for me to mention that because I'm a full-time content creator and small business owner, my income fluctuates every single month, but the last 4 months, my income has been about standard. Every once in a while, I'll have a month that doesn't really bring in anything, or every once in a while, I'll have a month that brings in a lot, and that's just kind of the way it works with being a content creator. You have to kind of just get used to it, and I've been doing this now for 2 years full-time, so it's definitely something I've gotten used to. The inconsistent income lifestyle is not for everyone, and it definitely takes some time to get used to it, but I wouldn't change it for anything. Some of the challenges that I have faced on this challenge is higher upfront costs. Ethical brands and local small businesses can often be a little bit more expensive, but the products often last longer and hold more value. And for me, because I've saved so much money not buying useless crap, I have the extra money that I didn't have before to spend the slightly higher costs. Also, limited availability has been a big issue. Not every single shop will have the best options or exactly what you're looking for, so sometimes I have to shop online, which would rarely come in 2 days, or I have to drive a bit further or check multiple stores to get what I'm looking for. And it can be very easy to just default to Amazon or Target when you're in a rush, so I try to be patient and plan ahead. It's not about being perfect, it's about making better choices when you can. So this is my vote with my dollar challenge. I analyzed my finances to come up with this list and decided where I was even overspending, what we don't actually need in our home, and I made some exceptions. I started off by auditing our spending and all of our expenses. I tracked every single penny of what we were spending to find out where it was going, and then I made my list based on that. I also track my expenses and update my expense spreadsheets every single day just to track my income and various things that we're spending our money on. This really gives you a good grasp of what you're spending your money on day to day, and it also ensures that you always have an updated and accurate budget. So for myself, I set a $250 personal limit spending for each month and $250 for any random business expenses that may come up. So this gives me a good idea as to how much I have left in my budget for that month. I've researched the brands that I frequently purchase from, looking into their sustainability and their ethics, and I use the app called Goods Unite Us, which has several brands and their donation data. And instead of just running to Target or Amazon, I used Google. I searched the products that I was looking for, and I was able to find small businesses to buy those products from. I prioritized quality over quantity and cheap dupes, because something well made that will last 5 years is better than replacing an item 5 times to get that 5 years of use. It is hard to implement overnight, so I really recommend doing this challenge and making small changes over time. If you've been thinking about making more intentional choices with your shopping, I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope that it gave you some ideas to get your challenge started. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Small shifts will add up over time, and even one mindful purchase will make an impact. If you liked this video and found it helpful, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already for more content about sustainable and slow living. And let me know how you're voting with your dollar in the comments. Have a good day and see you next time.